Hello, everyone present and watching. So today we have with us Saurabh, who's going to be talking about his journey from college to litigation. Saurabh, to you, please introduce yourself for the audience.
Hello everyone, my name is Saurabh Ankit. I hail from Patna, Bihar. Actually, OP Jindal was my third university in which I did my LL.B from the batch of 24. First, I did my B.Sc in Zoology from my hometown, Patna itself. Then I shifted to Mumbai, where I uh, followed my passion of music and I did music production and sound designing from Mumbai. I worked there for a few years and then COVID hit and I thought of, let's do something more productive and how can I grow myself in career? And then I decided to do law. And there I was in the COVID times. I joined OP Jindal University in the year 2021. I think it was in middle of the COVID. And I've just graduated in 2024. And right after that, I have started litigation and it's going really well. And yeah, here I am.
It was so interesting to see your bio. I was like, this guy, he did his zoology and then he, you know, started with his music and sound production, and now he's doing law. So that is quite a transition. And I want to know the backstory. So what was going in your head? How did you take these three different things, and how do you find coherence in all of them? What is that one thing that within you attracted you to three such a vast, like, in spite of them having vast difference between them, you went for all three of them?
I think the first one, B.Sc in zoology, was something that I initially planned that I would do from the very beginning. That I was actually a neat aspirant. I was into biology, medical sciences, and with that, it was a wise decision of my parents to get involved, to get enrolled into the academics, so that even if I drop a year, it wouldn't get wasted enough. But then my passion, which started with music, and I think when I was standard fifth, that's when I started learning the piano, and then I moved to guitar and to different instruments. And while the time I finished my standard 12th, I was into like, no, this is something that I really want to do and pursue. So then I headed to Mumbai. There I learned music. I learned music production. I lived in Mumbai for 3 years, three and a half years almost. But then COVID hit up, and if you guys know, during COVID, the whole industry stood still. The studios and everything were completely locked out, and there were no work as such in Mumbai. And then I started realizing and talking to different people who are in my schoolmates, batchmates who were doing different job at that time. They started discussing about their job is stable and stuff like that. So I was like, okay, let's focus on something. And then I decided that it's too late to do anything else, but law was something that can be done at any point of time. I remember I have batchmates in, I think, one of the electives who was a retired IS officer of 70 to 73 years old. So I think LLB is something, law is something that can be done at any stage in time. And so I was there doing LLB. And I think one of the best things that happened was Jindal, because Jindal truly saved how I am looking at different people right now. Jindal gave me such an opportunity of meeting different people and interacting with lots of different kinds of people in different work, whether that be in my career, in my let's see. One thing you asked was what was common in among all the fields, and
All three, yeah,
yeah,
yeah, all three
that
of
was,
them.
I think, interacting with people. I think right after graduation, when I started music and when I am doing law litigation, one of the things is that I have to talk to people every day. It was in that industry, it was in the industry, and whatever I learned from that time is helping me out now in litigation as well. So I think it's all connected. The process of meeting people and dealing with people in real life helps how it comes out now. Now getting after getting into litigation.
Very truly, I feel that law is one such field that everybody should be aware of to an extent. Even if you are doing something which is not related to law, then also you might need to know those laws. We are living in a civil society, and if we know of it, is only an addition. Like, it's nothing, nothing goes to lose. Now you can switch back to your music industry also. These laws might help you there. So yeah, how, like, if for our students, uh, what is the right balance between passion and practical life? What, like, you chose a job that was passion driven, like earlier you went for your music, and I understand that you were doing it from fifth standard and that was your passion, and now you're doing something which will get you money. Is it satisfying also, or do you feel that I'm not that satisfied? I wish I was still making music. How do you balance between your passion and being practical?
I think, see, when you get into practicality of these things, the thing is, uh, until unless you are enjoying what you're doing in the present form, you will not be able to do very well in your life. Lots of people are doing litigation, lots of people living it every day and going to different form of job. But until unless you truly love what you're doing, I don't think there's a space for growth as much as it is there when you love it. Now, I used to love music and that was my passion, but we are from Indian, and we have grown seeing Crime Patrol and TV serials like this on television, and that has been a great part of my life. Watching CID and these kind of things while eating food every day has somehow turned my mind towards being in this particular field, and now it's pretty interesting. I'm loving the job I'm doing right now. I'm very satisfied. I'm really, really, really happy. And when we come about balancing, I think you can find people of all the fields wherever you go. I now have a group of, I think, 15-20 senior advocates and lawyers in Supreme Court who are very, very good musicians. And we meet once a month, twice a month, just to sit and hang and jam together. We talk music, we talk law, we talk clients, we talk everything, and this just comes with I think a part of it. It's a package. It comes with it. When you are a magician from inside, you get to know people. When you are an architect, you meet people. Law is something that when you go into law, the history of people might amaze you. You find people from all of the backgrounds in law doing law right now. So it's a never ending thing, I think.
Saurav, you've shared pearls of wisdom with us. First of all, that be passionate about whatever you do. That is what I got from you. And secondly, that there can be more than one passions.
Definitely.
You were passionate about music, but you were equally passionate about law. And it is correct. We also imagine ourselves as lawyers in a courtroom. No, as kids, we do that one thing is always there. Being a lawyer is truly a fascinating job. Other than that, what are the few key points that you can tell our students who are preparing for a career in litigation while they're still in university? So, can you guide them a bit?
Sure. I think I'll start with. See, I was in a Kurkuduma District Court in Delhi, I think a couple of months back, and I met a senior lawyer. He's a very senior lawyer in Kurkuduma Court practicing criminal and civil dispute litigation. And while an interaction with him, I asked him point blank that you have been in this industry for, I think, 35 years now. That what is one thing that you would tell me now that I'm starting my career, or the people who are behind me who are going to start the career, that they should do right now, which will help them in future? And the only one answer that he gave me was start reading your bare acts. That is the basic of what you're going to do every day while you're doing litigation. Read 5 sections every day of whatever interest of subject that you have. It might be criminal, it might be civil, it might be IPR, it might be any subject. Just read 5 sections every day. You might not feel the difference in 1 year or 2 year, or suddenly in a month or something. But when you go to the courtroom 2 years, 3 years down the lane, and then when you start arguing and you have this habit of reading sections every day, it will certainly make a difference. And I think I have tried to do that from the time I've talked to him, from that conversation, and this has really, really, really helped me in real life courtroom experiences. When you know what you're dealing with, when you know the sections, the basics of what you are dealing with in the courtroom, I think that is one of the things that helps. The second thing would be reading judgments. There's no shortcuts to it. You have to read the judgments. You have to go to verbatos of what the judges are saying, because unless you go and read the whole judgment, you're not able to understand the concept of something. Now there's a trend in nowadays that people extract one paragraph or one sentence from a judgment, and that is made news. If you just read that, you won't be able to understand if you can use that particular instance in your case, what you are presenting. For that, you have to read the whole judgment. And I think reading one judgment a week, I don't think that is going to take a lot of time. 15-20 minutes of totality. I think you can give 5 minutes every day. Just download one judgment of any one topic that you like and read it every single day. 5 minutes, read it one judgment a day, one judgment a week. But definitely do that. Reading sections and reading judgments are the two only thing that is going to help in the courtroom.
All right. So reading judgments each week and being, consistent about it. That is very
Judgments
important.
and sections from the bare act, both of them.
Yeah. and the sections. Also, these are your technical skills. These are some technical habits that one needs to inculcate to be successful. What are the soft skills that a person requires? What kind of persona, personality, what needs to be inculcated on a personal level to become a successful lawyer?
I think in litigation, it's more about storytelling. It's
Okay.
about the client telling you a story, you portraying that story to a judge in the form of evidence and arguments. It's about your confidence in how well you can take up a story and present it to the world in a way that you want it to be. So you have to be well aware of the facts. You have to be very consistent, precise in before speaking. You have to know what you're saying out loud, and every word of you should be accountable for something. So if you're let's say it's a painting that you're doing in the courtroom in front of the judge, and the painting is going to decide how the judge is going to feel about it after the case. That painting should have excise uh, the stroke of the brush that should deal with the exact matter of the case in the way you want it to represent. Okay, so I think the confidence is one of the most important keys, that whatever you are saying, first you have to be a good storyteller, and second, the story that you are saying, you are portraying in the court, you have to believe in it. Unless you do it, the other part won't do it, the judge won't do it. So I think these are two things that people can try doing it a bit. Everyone has their own kind of stories which they have from their personal life, from their professional life. Just try talking it out, because when it comes to litigation, even in the courtroom, you have to talk, you have to speak. There's no getting away from it. So the more you are frequently doing it, the more confidence you are with your own verbatos and how you are speaking. I think it makes a great difference in the courtroom.
So communication skills, you're saying, and also an ability to present the views in a better manner,
Yes.
irrespective of. But should it be coherent with the reality? Like, what about authenticity? Because sometimes people are authentic, they lack in storytelling. Like, if I have to tell my experience, if I'm very expressive, I might not be able to really come across correctly as I want to. What about that?
See, a litigation consists of three different, very tiny blocks which combined together becomes litigation. I think first of them is researching skills. You have to know what is the basic case laws, the landmark case laws in India right now, who is dealing with that particular fact of cases which you are constantly dealing with right now. The second one is drafting. What you are writing, for that you can have your time and you can decide what you have to write and how you want to express it. You can take help from multiple sources. Nowadays AI is playing a very big role, a very big help in drafting per se. And then comes the third thing, that is argument. Arguments come in the very end, when you have presented the case, you have given the written arguments to the court and to the opposite counsel, and then it comes to how you want to portray it. I think before that, you have done the half legal fight. You have already, began the battle of by just submitting the written arguments, your written submission, or the case that you are filing. You have done that. I think if you have done that very well as well, you don't need to per se draw a very good picture after that, because the part of a picture is already being submitted in the court. So I think if one is particularly weak in, let's say, they don't have a lot of very good communication skills,
Yeah.
maybe they can work on drafting skills, and
Okay.
we can combine them together and work in the courtroom. That also works.
All right. Great. All right. That's nice. Okay. So people who are unsure about litigation, who are still not sure, who are just kind of doubtful, they want to go for corporate law or something else. What do you have to say to them? Why litigation? For you also, you could have gone for anything else because law is also like a huge field. So why did you particularly go for litigation?
For me personally speaking, I think it's more about the rush that you get inside the courtroom, the power that you feel in your hand. Being a lawyer, being that wearing that uniform means something for me. When I'm in that uniform, I'm in a role. When I'm in the courtroom, I'm representing my client, and I know for a fact that the fate of the client's company or maybe life, personal life, depends on my hands and my mouth, whatever I say in the court. So that is I can say that it is driven from the point of power, maybe sometimes that you feel in your hand when you're in the courtroom. But when people are confused, I think I made a very late decision of joining litigation. I think till I was in law school, I wasn't sure. And this is most of the people, most of my friends, colleagues who were with me in that time, most of the people don't know by the end of the law school where do they want to go. The only way it can be brought down to a conclusion is by getting practical experiences, and internships are the way to go about that. You need to uh, whatever field you think you can be in, which can be good for you, just give it a first and try, and that can be only done through internships. Go apply, and it's not easy to get in some internships nowadays. You have to send mails, you will get rejections, but you have to be rigid. The job I'm doing right now, I think I send more than 100 mails for me to just get that interview. But if but that is the way, you can't just get away from it. This is the part of life, and it comes with law, it comes with interview, it comes for internships as well and jobs as well. So but only internships, I think, as a way which will give you the practical exposure of what the reality looks like, maybe in a corporate field or in a litigation field. You need to be aware of what actually the real life field would look like, not based on what people are saying. Different people would have different kind of experience and different kind of mentality in, pursuing a different thing, but you might see it differently. So for you to decipher what do you want to do, you actually need to be there and feel what it's like to be in litigation or corporate or wherever you want to be.
All right. So it is said that being a lawyer, you definitely need to have some family background. That is the common perception. If because that provides a very safe and good mentorship, and that provides a good network, already built network. Do you think that these two things are mandatory and you can't get away with them? And if you do not have a family background, where to look for mentorship? How important is mentorship, and where to look for the right kind of mentorship for the lawyers?
Okay, so to start with the question, I am also a first generation lawyer. I don't have any family background in litigation as such, or in
Okay.
law as such. My family consists of 17 engineers. Everyone is an engineer, and I am myself a lawyer right now. And that doesn't matter. I am satisfied with what I'm doing right now. My senior is satisfied with what I'm doing right now. And no, it's more about what you can do with yourself. What talent do you have? How are you suitable for that job, rather than getting a call from someone else that please hire this person for this particular job. If you have it in you, you will do it. It doesn't matter if you have a family supporting or not. There might be a little bit of struggle, there might be some times of struggle where you will not be earning lots of money in the initial phases. But if you are ready to fight that, I think litigation is something that people come to litigation when they are interested in that courtroom argument and that courtroom drama. That is something that is a passion for lots of people. And if you seek that, if you don't have a family background, I think you need to have a little patience. That is the key for it. And coming to the second point, I think networking is something that is very, 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 very important actually. I had no family background per se, but I think OP Jindal University gave me lots and lots and lots of opportunities of connecting to people. I did my internships from mentors who came to different events in universities, trial advocacy society, moot court competitions, and the people, the guests who are invited on campus. I talked to a lot of them personally, one to one, after the event was done, and got internships with them as well. I know some of my seniors who are helping me out every day, a single message. I help out my juniors as well. So I think in this particular field, you need connections, but those connections should not be limited to your family knowing or owning a law firm. It should be you making your own connection, not rather your family making connections. And if you are able to do this with your seniors, with your colleagues, with your professors in general are really, really, really helpful. I think even when you go for LLM, for higher studies, I think professors in Jindals are one of the key factors why so many people from Jindal go for higher studies, because we have that support system built inside the university. So if you want to explore that, there are, I think, numerous number of societies in the university with which deals from music to theater to trial advocacy to anything you are interested in. There would be something or someone for you in the university. You just need to look for it, and you need to connect to people so that you can grow with them, you can learn with them, and help and get the help whenever you are required for it.
All right. So, as law could help you in your music career if in future you decide to switch, how did music help you in your legal career? How these extracurricular activities and music help an individual, and what do you have to say to the current students about it?
I think while the time I was in Jindal, I was a part of all the fests, that student run fest that was on campus. And one thing that I have learned there is how to deal with people and negative situations when everything is going against you and you have got nothing to lose, and you take care of things in a certain way. In the real life, when it comes to that, and you will actually lose your job when it comes to that, but you learn certain things during those times where the stakes are not so high maybe. you can learn lots of things of dealing with people, different kind of people. You have, vendors of different kind. You have to deal with admin staff. You have to deal with other competitors, your peers. And dealing with people, I think, is one thing that is an essential part of becoming a lawyer as well. Being in the music industry as well, there was one thing that was common, which I think I mentioned earlier as well, was dealing with people. This is something that you have to know if you're coming to litigation, because when a client comes to you and is talking about his case, there might be something what that is basic human instinct, that he will give you a story that he wants to protect, but you have to get the whole story out. And how will you do that? You will only be able to do that when you know how to deal with people, how to talk to people, how to get their stories out, how to communicate with them, how to engage with them. And this is something that is done. Music and extracurricular activities helps really, really, really well in this. And I think Jindal provides an platform where I think every student in one time or the other in their college life becomes a part of one festival or something else. And no matter how the festival goes, but they definitely learn something or the other about human nature, interaction, communication. I think that would answer my question for this.
Yeah. So being a people's person is very important, be it music industry or be it your law industry. Other than that, I want to know how did zoology, how did your zoology help you like in life? Do you ever look back and feel that, oh my God, why did I even do this graduation? Or do you still feel that no, that is important and that kind of shaped a few things in your life?
See, as it said, no education ever goes to waste. You learn
Mm.
something and it stays with you. During the
Mm.
time of graduation as well, I learned a few tricks and tips to how to memorize things, because in zoology you have to remember body parts of different organisms, not only human body, but we have to actually, I remember, we have to read the digestive system and the reproductive system of frogs and cockroaches and stuff like that. So you have to get habitual to learning lots of things, which is something that you not see every day, which you don't want to know, but you have to learn it. And when it comes to
Yes.
law, there are certain things. Law is a very diverse field, and not everyone wants to learn everything. But at the end of the day, you have to get through it, and you have to know basics of everything. So I think my ability to learn different subjects, especially the things which I'm not even interested in, kind of originated from my zoology. And I learned the skills that this is something that I need to do. I need to get past this, and there are certain skills that I developed for learning particular things that is helping me right now as well.
Great. That was a very nice answer. Also, work-life balance and high-pressure profession. These two things, we read a lot of articles. People are saying that the young people should be working for 80 hours a week and all that. What are your views about it? What is work-life balance? Does a young person require that work-life balance? Or it's just we being lazy? Because there are two set of people saying things about it. What are your thoughts about it?
I think the first priority should be work. Life balance is something that comes with times, and it can be incorporated at any point of time when you want. When you're coming out of law school, you are an absolute fresher. You have got nothing in your mindset. You are absolutely raw, and you need to get in the field. For that, you need to learn. Now the people who are in the industry for the past 20, 25, 30 years, they have experienced that. They have given their time in the industry to learn what they are doing right now in the courtroom. For you to be able to be in the courtroom with the same person, you need to spend some time into litigation per se. But it's not like you have to leave your personal life alone and just focus on work. But then again, in the initial few years, I think there should be a certain inclination towards learning things, not particularly towards work, that I'm giving 80 hours a week for work. But you should give as much as time as you can towards learning new things which will help you in the future life, where you can actually balance your work and personal life when you start gaining that amount of money. But for that, you need to learn, and for learning, I think giving time is the only thing that can absolutely speed up the process.
So you're saying that per se not work-life balance, but you need to have that work-life balance, but put those extra hours into not just having fun, but more into research and learning so that you have a strong foundation and later you can have a work-life
Yeah, I
balance.
mean, definitely having personal life is also very important, even during the
Mm.
initial days. But then again, you have to draw a line where that line should be that, I need this amount of personal life for my mental peace. And then this amount of personal time I need for, having fun. I think mental peace is important. You need to be there. You need to draw a line that is at the time I need for my mental peace, for my own self being is this. This much is what I need right now. But other than that, I can give to the work life, to learning new things, I think.
Yeah. So other than listening to music, what all things you do for your mental peace? What all, hobbies, I might say, or activities you do in order to de-stress yourself? Is there anything that you follow? Any exercise routine or anything? Maybe yoga or
I think
something.
yoga helps a lot.
Okay.
I was never a yoga person. In fact, I was never an exercise person in my university, in my college time as well. But once I started litigation, I think when it comes to litigation, there comes a toll on your brain as well, because you have to deal with so many clients, so many cases every day. And for you to be able to focus on everything together, you need to concentrate on things, lots of things at a particular point of time. And I think yoga is something that really helps. I've been doing this since I started litigation, and I think it certainly creates a difference. And definitely music is something that connects people everywhere, in every mood. You have got, if you got nothing left, apart from anything is gone, you have music, and music is always there for you. But then again, yoga is also there for you. You just need to close your eyes, sit down. You don't need to be in any particular situation. You don't need a park, don't need a yoga room. You can sit on your bed or on a chair and just kind of meditation. I mean, that also
Yeah,
helps.
that's true. Other than that, I want to know your journey in OP Jindal. Apart from the extracurricular activities, what all did you learn here, and how did OP Jindal shape your journey into litigation? Were you like when you joined here, were you sure that you were going to go to litigation only, or something happened here that led you to this path?
Uh, as I said earlier as well, I don't think I was certain that I'm going to do litigation until my final semester. But one thing that turned my perspective was an event organized by the Trial Advocacy Society, and the guest in that lecture was Tanveer Ahmed Mir sir. I
Okay.
I got an opportunity to have an interaction with him after the event, and then I connected to him. I then did an internship under him, and that is the point when I worked under him. I realized that this is something that I want to do. This is how I want to see things. This is something interesting, and doing law was only successful if I get to be this kind of person. I am able to utilize whatever I'm learning in the university and whatever I learn down the profession. This is how I want to be 10 years, 15 years down the lane. And I think that opportunity was only possible because of the events and the extracurricular help that you get from the university. Even the professors, we have so many guest lectures throughout different
Ankit, I think there's some network issue. One second.
I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
no, it's okay again. It's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think there were multiple guest lectures in almost every semester. Some way or the other, the teachers try to bring in at least one guest lecture that is a well-known personality, a judge, maybe a former partner in a big law firm, people who have real life experience. Let's say I was taught arbitration by a professor who is an Australian, and the way he taught arbitration was something that an Indian teacher might be a little. The Indian teacher might have a different approach to it. They might teach you how we do arbitration in India, but to see it from an international point of view and how things are done worldwide, I think it helped me better to understand how this is done outside India as well. And I think that is something that can be only be taught if that person teaching you have that real exposure. And I think Jindal was one of the platforms, the one of the reasons why Jindal was a great platform for me, because they provided me with these kind of infrastructure and possibilities that was not possible in any other university. I wouldn't name anything, but I got admission in 2 3 different universities while taking at the time of admission. But I did a little research, talked to alumni and the people who are studying there right now, and eventually I took the decision of going to Jindal because of these few reasons, that the infrastructure that the Jindal provides is something that we are not getting in almost any university out there. So I think Jindal really helps in that. Yeah.
Yeah. So my last question to you is, as you know earlier mentioned, that you were always fascinated watching TV dramas about law and the courtroom, and you also mentioned that there's a sense of power whenever you're in court. So as much drama as we see on television, how different is reality? isn't it equally tedious also and boring at times with lot of pauses in between and lot of, next dates and trials and everything? So how is reality different from how it is perceived, maybe by a young student who just joined their first year, or some aspirant of law might be, really excited and thinking that my life is going to be so much of drama when I become a lawyer. How different is reality?
I think the reality is pretty different from what we see in television and what we see in real life. It is so far away from each other that the first time you get into the courtroom, you are in utter shock that this is something very different. Even we have famous dialogues like "Tariq pe Tariq, Tariq pe Tariq, Tariq pe Tariq," but in reality, the judge says a date and you listen to it and you abide to it. You can't do anything about it. It's just as simple as that. Real life exposure is different because it is a combination of variable factors. The case doesn't revolve just around you, but it revolves around so many people, so many backhand staff that is present in the courtroom, behind the table, which you don't even see. People who are helping the judge out, people who are helping the maintenance of the courtroom, the people who are helping the opposite counsel, the people who are just helping in printing the documents which is in the file before the judge. And if one of the things goes wrong, then you have to seek a date. This is something which you were never prepared for. Sometimes you give your hours and nights and nights before the date. You give 5 sleepless nights of preparing for an argument that you have to do the argument. I am making notes, I am making pointers, everything. I go in the courtroom and the opposite party maybe says, or the judge is on leave, something happens, and the court master says, the next date is this, 5 months down the lane. And every effort that you just put in for the past 3 days, 4 days just goes to that has been, but it doesn't matter, because it is eventually going to come up 5 months down and you will be there. But then again, it can't be certain, you can't be prepared for everything that you're going to see in the courtroom. It's a little different from what we see in the television, but I think that's also fun. The fun of not knowing what's going to happen next is also a good thing to be, a good place to be in.
Yeah, that's true. But yes, it must be quite you must be quite disheartened when you actually came in terms with it.
I think it's part of the journey and you have to learn it. And this is why you need patience. And this is how it's all connected. You learn something in your college life, you are doing a fest, you are dealing with people and you don't know what to do. You are getting frustrated. All you need to learn is a little patience. That is somehow connected to what I'm dealing with right now. In fest as well, in general, we prepare for so many things and eventually things get cancelled or it doesn't come out the way we want it to be and we get disheartened. We learn on the process, and now we applied in the real courtroom because we can't do anything here, but it happens, so we have to deal with it. I think college life prepares you for that in a certain way.
And is there a dark side to the networking also? So as as we see otherwise that in every field there's a lot of competition. But now here at Jindal, whenever I talk to someone, everyone is like, no, we get a lot of help from our network. We are always. Is there a dark side also? Is there competition? Is there people who are competitive, pulling each other down, or it's actually a very healthy, good network?
I think competition is everywhere, wherever you go. But then there comes the percentage of people who are willing to help. I am doing a job right now which was posted in the WhatsApp chat of Jindal Alumni Group. I applied through that particular ad and I got the selection for the interview and I got selected for the job and I'm doing it right now. But see, this is also one of my peers sending the job application in the WhatsApp group itself, in which there are thousands people of which are all alumni. But there
Yeah.
are people who thinks differently, that I shouldn't send to this, but then again, you need to find positivity in wherever you can. I mean, people are there everywhere to pull you down, and there are people who are willing to help you as well. I think you need to focus on who is willing to help and the positive side only. The negative sides are going to be there. You just have to ignore it and move on.
Thank you so much, Saurabh. It was nice talking to you. And we got to know about a lot of things. All the best to you. I hope the future ahead is great for you in this field. And in case you plan to change again, all the best for that too.
No, I think I'm settled for now. Thank you so much for this opportunity. It was lovely talking about these things. I think when I started my university journey, if there was someone who would tell me these things, it would really help me navigate through the law school and stuff like that. So I think it's a really great initiative you guys have taken to, connect alumni to the people who are right on the process of making their career, and I think this would really help them. So yeah, cheers to that, and please let me know if I can help in any way other than this. I'm always happy to help.
Thank you, Saurabh. Bye. Have a nice day. Bye bye.
Bye bye.